Hey guys, and welcome back to The Bright Side. Macy here, the Bright Side Girl, and today we're going to be doing a garden tour. So I am primarily a book channel, as any of you guys following know, but I know a lot of you are interested in gardening, flowers and vegetables and all those kinds of things. So I thought I would do my first garden tour. So if you're into books and nothing else, this is not going to be the video for you, but I'll have more stuff soon. We're just going to go through my backyard and maybe the front yard a little bit and show you guys what we're working on. I am located in Southern California. I think I'm zone 10B, and we can garden pretty much all year long. We got this house like 3 years ago, and I have been doing a lot of work ever since, especially like the last 2 years, especially last year. It was such a great stress reliever and things for 2020. And there is a lot of work that needs to be done. So there are things all over the place. Things are not really super clean right now, full spring planting mode. But I figured I would just do a tour, and if you guys like it, I might do it every month because things will change quite a bit. We're constantly like adding new things, new plants and new vegetables, and just trying to make our little space really great. We actually have a decent sized backyard for Southern California, and I'm really grateful for it. And yeah, so we're just gonna get started. This is my nasturtium wall behind me here. It's very sunny and warm today. This will be an okay filling day, and it's kind of noisy in my backyard. There are birds everywhere and cars that are loud and all kinds of stuff, but we're just gonna get started on the tour. I have only been gardening like fruits and vegetables and things like that, but really last year was like the main year where I learned a lot and actually got like a lot of food. And then we've actually gotten a lot of food now just for like winter crops and stuff like that. So this is a ledge plant. He's been growing in this yard for several years now. And he really likes lots of sunshine and lots of kisses. I'm gonna start in this back side, and just keep in mind, like, we have a lot of work to do, so things are kind of all over the place. So this is my compost bin, and I planted some in-ground tomatoes over here. We have very, very hard clay soil that is not very nutrient rich, but I went in and dug this section up and put in some fresh soil and some compost and different things like that. So this has been here for over a year now, and two of these tomatoes, this tomato and this tomato, have actually overwintered, and I just trimmed them back and then they regrew. I'm getting ready to trim this one even more because he's got new growth coming from the bottom, and they get like really tall and gangly. But over here we have a Honey Delight tomato, which is like a smaller yellowish tomato that I really like. They're starting to form. I'll show you guys. It's like a saladette size tomato that's really tasty. And then this one here is a big boy tomato. This is a Rutgers, Big Rainbow, and a Jubilee, none of which I've grown before. And this is a Sun Sugar. They're starting to come back, but this guy is very, very prolific. Then I planted some marigolds down here, and I also planted some bulbs, but we're having like a little bit of gopher problems in this area, lots of gopher problems everywhere else, and I need to mulch and things. But I've got some marigolds that are come up, and then some seedlings as well. Then I have my bucket wall. So this is a bigger bucket that I have. I got a lot of these from like Hobby Lobby, which wasn't the best idea, but wasn't the worst. They've lasted about 2 years, but they're starting to fall apart. This bigger one has a container zucchini and a very small tomato that I think I transplanted a little too early, and then I put some radishes in here, and then we use like some soaker hose. This one I have some beets that I haven't grown before. This one has some peas in it, some like sugar snap peas that are very good. I've planted some baby red potatoes that haven't popped up yet. I've got some onions in this one. Just some like yellow onions I started from sets. Some red Killarney garlic in here, an experiment. Never grown garlic before. I don't know if that's going to be good. Jerusalem artichokes. They'll like grow really tall and give pretty sunflowers. They're similar looking to a ginger, but they're like really good and loaded with like prebiotics. In this one I have some russet potatoes and some radishes. And then this one's kind of random. I bought some seed starting mix that just had a lot of seeds in it. So did have some onions in there, and this is a radish that have gone to seed that I'm kind of experimenting on. And then just a bunch of random things. This one I have a watermelon radishes coming up and a little container cucumber. A lot of these I just started. And then this is a jalapeno that I overwintered that I probably need to put in a different bucket because he's pretty large now. Some more tomatoes. These are determinate tomatoes in these smaller buckets, which I did last year and it worked pretty good. This is a striped Roma, which is technically not determinate. I thought it was because it was a Roma, so that'll be fun later. And this is a bush glacier, another striped Roma. This is one that overwintered. I just haven't taken it out and replaced it yet, but it's about spent. And then I have a determinate. I think this is just a regular Roma. In here I've got more radishes and a watermelon. I try to, this is a like a container watermelon plant. It just sprouted right here. And then I don't have anything in this bucket yet. So we're kind of just using what we have at the moment. I've got some hanging baskets with some strawberries under the roof, if you can hear with all the birds. And then I'm just going to show you this, even though it's messy. So right now, see how everything's looking. I don't know what I'm going to do with this area yet, but I need to like do a bunch of work over here. A lot of this is just temporary. I got this new sundial thing from Hobby Lobby that I've been wanting for years. Someone gave me a snake plant recently. Then I have some Swiss chard in this little tower. I need to finish that. That's a project. Put a lot of these little containers I got at the 99-cent store or like dollar stores, just temporary to use as extra little beds. They were inexpensive, won't last forever, but these are green onions that I actually just chopped the green onion part off from the store and just stick them in here. I don't know what this is. I think it might be a carrot, which is bad, but they're getting ready to bloom, which is really cool. But these, literally, I just got green onions from the store when I had eaten them and just kept the ends and stuck them in the dirt. And that works really good, and you can just keep chopping off the top. These are more strawberries. They are called alpine strawberries. So they do these like, they get a little bigger than this, but they do these little white strawberries that are really neat. So this is a new experiment for me. Then I just planted some flowers over here. I can't remember what these are called, and some Dicandra Silver Falls. Sorry for the wind, you guys. These little lanterns out of like solar lanterns and little hanging votives from Dollar Tree. I have some calla lilies and things here from the garden center that I need to plant somewhere. And along this edge, I've got more strawberries, which they seem to be much happier in here than how I had them last year. And then I have radishes planted like in between everything. You can see. So hopefully we get some good strawberries over here. And I planted some more green onions like from seed. They're just now popping up because I heard that's a good companion plant. And more alpine strawberries, the little white ones. They taste like pineapple. This is just a container experiment where I put some bulbs in. There's some gladiolas and some, I think, ranunculus in here, which I've done gladiolas a lot. This is a baby sunflower plant called Junior Sunflower that's supposed to be for containers, and it's supposed to grow like multiple sunflowers. Strawberries and some lettuce that the seed kind of just came up, radishes. And then this one is very bright, is lettuces and then some bare root strawberries that will come up and turn green soon. So for now, we're gonna go in the front before I show you the main part of the garden. So this is the situation. It is very not good right now. We have major gopher problems. I had some pretty flower things over here, but we have to do something about the gophers before I spend too much more time like doing under my palm trees. But I do have some like poppies in here and lots of sweet alyssum. This front flower bed I just cleaned up. So we've got these really pretty daisies, some sweet alyssum. We've got some coleus and some gladiolas. Like this coleus, all of this stuff in here, and I just like covered it up. Should get really huge and take over this whole thing. So hopefully I can show you guys that sometime soon. This is my summer display for right now. I think I'm gonna change it over to 4th of July. This is just stuff I had left over from last year, but I made these wreaths really cheaply out of Dollar Tree stuff. And then this area, I just have this like bench with a pot. I need to do a bunch of stuff over here, but it's primarily in the shade. I have this hanging basket, which I put some coleus in and some various things. These big hawthorn trees here, and then I just need to replant all of this. And then in this side, we just planted this apple tree, and I planted some daisies in here, and I planted some bulbs as well. And then I need to replant along this palm tree as well, but more gophers. You can't see the full glory because of my wheelbarrow, but Jeff just made me this garden bed and we repainted the fence, which is really nice. So this is the garden bed here, but this is primarily in the shade, so I need to get some shade tolerant flowers. Okay, now for the garden. So Jeff built me these stairs and these garden beds, my husband, a couple years ago, and they have been fabulous. This is garden bed number 1, and it needs some serious work. I had trouble with it last year growing things, but I think I fixed that. So we have this drip tubing in here, which works really good. I have onions planted like everywhere, some chard that came back from last year, a volunteer sunflower, a couple of peppers from last year, and then yeah, just bare spots. There's some okra seedlings coming up. I need to figure out exactly what I want to put in here, and I'm not sure yet. Then we've got just hanging baskets of flowers. This is bed number 2. Has celery plants that do absolutely incredible. Tons of onions, more peas. I was hoping they'd grow and take over this whole thing, but I might have planted a shorter variety without knowing it. And then I have a pepper back here. All the other peppers came back really well, but that one doesn't seem very happy, so we'll just see. And then we have more hanging baskets. This is an early girl tomato in a pot, which is one of my favorites. I planted some dahlias, so excited about that. This is an in-ground bed experiment-ish. So I've got artichoke. Look how sad. This guy was in a pot and he was very unhappy, and I took a bunch of his leaves off because I knew he would come back. But he's trying to make artichokes right now, and he is so sad and pathetic. But I'm just gonna let him do it and let them flower because they're very small. And then I planted some more baby artichokes in here and some flowers and a cucumber back there. We're just gonna have to see. This bed doesn't have a lot of new dirt in it, so you can see how the difference between like our hard clay soil and the new dirt. And then we've got a fig tree with some ranunculus in it, a very sad blueberry plant, and some more Jerusalem artichoke, and a fabulous looking hanging basket, and my birds of paradise. Now we're gonna come back over here. This is bed number 3, which I had a bunch of lettuce in it, but I just harvested it, so it looks kind of empty right now. But I've got kale, more onions all along the side, and then this is eventually going to be all peppers, all sweet peppers. It was too cool to plant the peppers, so I didn't plant them yet, but I started to. And then you can see I just harvested all that lettuce yesterday. But this, we've just got some like, this is a sweet banana, and then the rest I think are like orange and red and yellow. And then I've got some rutabagas in here that need to come up. Yellow bell pepper. This is an orange bell pepper, and we're getting a jalapeno here. This is like a heatless jalapeno that I'm very excited about. And then, experiment that may or may not be working. Jeff found these giant bike boxes, cardboard boxes at a bike shop next to him, and we were going to use them as like 1 season or half season garden beds. So we're like 2 months in and we're doing okay. I need to fill them in. Okay. Camera battery died, so I had to wait a minute. It looks a little different now. So like I was saying, these are cardboard bed experiments. Eventually Jeff is going to be making me garden beds to go down this whole upper level, because this is a lower level. But for now, so I've got some zucchini in here and some turnips, things that are just kind of getting started. Forgive the dogs barking. We've got a mystery in here, because I planted like a bunch of vegetable scraps and stuff at the very bottom, because these are kind of big boxes, and I forgot to take the seeds out of something. So this is either a squash or a pumpkin of some kind, and then we've got more zucchini, squash, whatever, and then I planted some okras that are really small. Everything's just getting started. And then in here I planted some melons, So there's like a Kajari melon, a watermelon. There's some nasturtiums popping up. I need to like tape this guy back together, but everything's pretty young right now. And then I got a hold of some ground cherries, which are like kind of like tomatillas, but they're really sweet and very candy-like. I put some onions around the corner. And then this is a super fantastic tomato. This is my mess of a seed starting station. I have a rose right here in a pot that's doing much better now that I potted it up. I've got a hanging basket with a nasturtium, kind of like the wall over there, but it's gonna be a lot smaller, but it's gonna kind of come and like ramble. And then this is my tomato wall. And I got this cool like solar light at TJ Maxx the other day. I think they still have them if you guys want to check it out. But this part lights up and then you put like birdseed in the top. So we're gonna start here. I did this last year and it worked really good. Our soil isn't the best, but I put a couple inches of good soil and then I dig a nice big hole. And tomatoes are really forgiving, so they did okay. They don't do as good as they would in really good soil, which is actually kind of okay because then I'm able to plant more and then just kind of trim them. So I put them really close together and I trim them pretty nicely. Tomato cages aren't the best, but that's just what I had. This is a Tiger Stripes tomato. I just planted him a few days ago. I have marigolds in between everything. This one I bought. This is an ox heart, which I am like thrilled with because this guy has like 7 tomatoes on him. I probably should have trimmed those off, but that is like a total powerhouse plant. Hopefully you guys can see, it's really bright. This is a chocolate stripes tomato. Almost all of these I grew from seed, but I did buy a few. A mystery, I don't know, I lost his tag. I'm sad about it. I have green beans all along the front coming up here. This is a pineapple tomato. It's a big heirloom slicer. This one is left over from last year. I am pretty sure it is Dancing with Smurfs, which is a really neat cherry tomato. Let me see if I can show you guys. I don't know if you can see. There's like a, right in here, blue tomato in here. I need to trim him, but that's why he's so much bigger because I planted him last year. And this is Aunt Ruby's German green. This is a really cool green tomato. Also a mystery. I don't know what this is. It's left over from last year, so once the tomatoes come on, I should be able to tell. Could probably go look at my videos and do some math to figure it out, but this is a Kellogg's Breakfast, a Paul Robeson. It's one of my favorites. Thornburns Terracotta, which is new to me. That one's getting some tomatoes on it, which is really exciting. There's one over here. Green Zebra, which I really enjoyed last year. And then I have 3 mysteries. Oh wait, 2 mysteries. This one's a mystery. Sorry, it's kind of shaded. I think this is an early girl that I just didn't have a tag for. This is the Big Beef tomato. And this is kind of dark over here, but this is something. I think maybe a sun sugar. I'm not entirely sure. Over here, I have this really big, beautiful, like Birds of Paradise. It's like a darker Birds of Paradise. He's actually never bloomed, so I don't know, but he's got pretty leaves. And I planted some catnip herbs up here, which I'll tell you guys about in a little bit. I really love catnip. I know it sounds weird, but I'll explain later. And then there's some seeds popping up here. They look kind of like zinnia flowers. I'm not entirely sure. And this is a great day to film. So this area is 3 levels up. So we've got our main level, then the garden level, and then this level. This is what we call the reading nook, because eventually Jeff's going to build me something up here that I can come and kind of hang out and read. I'm really freaking excited about it, but it's going to be a minute. So this is a type of succulent. I don't remember the name, but it gets these beautiful purple flowers for a little while, and it's really pretty. It's just now started blooming. My bucket, because I was weed eating up here. I need to plant this whole section up here. So these are called straw flowers. They're very cool. They have, if you can hear that, they have like a papery feeling, which makes them a very long-lasting flower for bouquets. They're kind of long and gangly, but I kind of think they're kind of whimsical up here. So I have a white one, I have a pink one, and then I have some yellow ones opening up. Then I have some gladiola bulbs that are going on 3 years now. I actually got these gladiola bulbs from Dollar Tree. They're like 5 for $1, and I just threw them in here and they have been fantastic. My little knee pad. And then over here, Swiss chard and some celery. It's a little bit shaded up here. Ooh, the lighting, sorry, for the celery. We have this big ugly tree, but it shades everything, so we kind of left it. And then I have this random section where these guys aren't, so I thought about like putting another miniature garden bed here of some kind of like wildflowers or something. And I just popped a geranium in here. This doesn't get water to it, but geraniums do pretty good in our like dry climate. So up here, I don't know, I plan on doing like a bunch of stuff up here. I was gonna do Swiss chard, but I think I might have enough Swiss chard other places. So I'm not entirely sure, but I need something that can handle partial shade, because I think this only gets like 3 hours of sun, not very much. So back down to the main level. So this is like my herb section. I'm really happy with it right now. You guys just missed the iris blooms. I think there's a couple late bloomers. These are some really pretty irises that I just, again, kind of put bulbs in random places. They kind of act as like surprises. So I just put these pots in for the first time. This is some more catnip. So my aunt gave me a whole bunch of dried herbs one year. She was taking like an herb class or something, and I just kind of let them sit and I didn't do anything with them. And finally I was like, you know what, can I make tea with these? And so I decided just to make tea with a lot of them, just to use them up, because I didn't know how else to use them. And one of them was catnip, and I made tea with it and I drank it for like 2 weeks straight, and I realized that that week was a great week. Like, I was super chill and really calm, but not like tired at all, like still very productive, but I was just like kind of relaxed. And I found out that catnip is really good at doing that. It kind of just chills you out, but it doesn't make you feel tired or like groggy, and you still have energy. You're just not like anxious. So I became obsessed with catnip and I planted it everywhere in the garden because I use it for tea all the time. So I use it for like fresh tea and dry tea. You can just take it, put boiling water over it, let it sit, or you can dry it and then do that. You can use the flowers as well. And I'm gonna get some cat mint because I heard it's the same. And then this is called Caribbean oregano. It's kind of like a succulent. It's got a thicker leaf to it, and it is supposed to be good for barbecues and stuff. They get really big leaves. So some spent irises. I have some oregano here that I cut back like probably too far. It was kind of crazy, but it's starting to come back. So that's exciting. And then I got a fresh lemon thyme plant because mine died and I don't know why. Lemon thyme is so beautiful. It's variegated. It smells and tastes like lemon. So you can use this for tea as well, and regular thyme. I have some holes that I need to fill with, like, I want to get some holy basil and some stevia. This is my sage, doing fantastic, needs a trim. The chives desperately need a trim. There's 2 chive plants here and they need a good trimming. There's parsley in here hiding behind the chives. They're pretty iris. I have little fairy houses that I got from Dollar Tree, and then I put like a clear coating on them. This is lemon balm, which ideally you wouldn't put in a bed because it can kind of take over, but it's doing okay. And I just seeded like a whole bunch of cilantro. So all of these are cilantro babies coming up. Got some solar lights. This is called a Vicks plant. It's kind of similar looking to that oregano, but it smells like Vicks. And I don't know if you can use it like that. I'm not sure yet if you can like steam it and breathe it in. I've got a pot of mint because you definitely don't want to put mint in the garden because it will take over. It just kind of grows runners and goes everywhere. So it's looking good. And then I've got some more mini roses up here, which this is the best that they have ever looked. Looks like I got some more blooms back here. I planted a canna for the first time. It's a bulb, so hopefully that does good. Just a closer look at the celery and the chard. Different look at the nasturtiums. It's really bright on part of it. So this is actually a garden bed that I added last year. I actually dug really deep into here, but we have a lot of like concrete and stuff buried under this, which is crazy. These don't like the heat, so they're already kind of starting to suffer. Once they start to die off, I will plant something else in this whole bed. But I have a banana tree in here right now, which is doing okay. But the nasturtiums are so beautiful. And then this is kind of our like quote unquote orchard area. There are a lot of weeds I need to pull. I put a pot of dahlias here. I just put some drip tubing around this tree so I could plant around it. Apricot, he definitely is not looking good. He needs sprayed sometime. He's got like a leaf curl disease, but he's got a lot of apricots on him. Kind of treacherous. This is a guava tree surrounded by weeds. I have a geranium up here. And then the only other tree that we're really like using and like wanting to keep is this Santa Rosa plum. It's kind of like a weeping tree, but he's got some nice baby plums on him, kind of all over, and they're really delicious. They taste kind of like sweet tarts. And he seems to be really happy up here, so I might plant more of him. Okay, so this is just weeds and madness, and it's hard to get to, so I've been slowly weeding this like by hand because it did really good in all my other spots that are not as weedy because I did them by hand like a couple years in a row. But eventually we want to extend this wall here because it drops down all the way so that we have like more dirt and things like that. Kind of like our overview. So that is it for my first garden tour, like official one. I've done ones in reading vlogs and things before, but I thought I would do this separate just to kind of show you guys everything that's happening and all the things that we're doing. So I'm gonna go and plant some more things and make something beautiful today. And yeah, let me know if you guys like gardening down below and if you enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time on The Bright Side.